Do it again, Jake. Jake, come out here and show them what you got here. Dude, exactly. Nailed it. I'm Rich.
I'm Frank.
And it's People, Pines, and Possibilities.
Yeah.
Welcome to Paso Robles, California. We're in the den. We're at a California Coast Beer Company. We got a special guest. Before that, I'm the Vibe Titan.
Dabbling
We
around.
got the Dabbler over here, and we got Chris Batlle in the house. What's up, Chris?
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Dude, what's all right? We got the Dabbler over there, the Vibe Titan. What's your nickname?
You want to go old school or new
Dude,
school?
hit me old school
Dude, old
first.
school. Nobody wants new school.
Back in the day, I had the nickname.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish
I was a kid again.
Yeah.
Was Wolfie.
Wolfie.
Yeah,
Wolfie.
that stuck for a little while.
Can we ask why?
Yeah, guys.
My fangs right here.
Okay.
It was cool back then.
Fuck yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
also
All right.
in the Lost Boys.
The girls really digged it.
Dude, love the Lost Boys.
Thou
All right, fair enough.
not
Wolfie.
kill.
Yeah, the Lost Boys is a great movie.
That's my
Yeah,
wife's favorite
absolutely.
movie of all
Kiefer
time.
Sutherland.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird
Yeah.
because she loves every guy in there, and I have no long hair, so it's I don't. I guess you just have to be comfortable with yourself.
A girl can dream.
Oh, all right.
now-
Well, welcome in. Go ahead.
Nowadays, you can hear me as the fun guy.
The fun guy.
I mean,
yeah.
it never gets old. But
The mushroom fun guy. I love that. Hell yeah. We're going to get into that. This guy, he came to the Central Coast from the OC in Laguna. And then you were a contractor. And then this beautiful lady talked you into coming to the Central Coast here. He came up here and noticed that the surfing was not wedged, I guess. Not wedged up here. It's a little cold and sharky, but other than that, the surfing was open. You worked in seafood, wine, and now you're an entrepreneur with the Mighty Cap Mushrooms in Paso Robles here. So welcome, Chris Batlle.
thank you guys.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Excited.
This guy's an entrepreneur. He put it all on the line just like us, so it's going to be interesting to hear this story. You just came from a tour right now, right?
Yeah, just did a big school group.
Nice.
was
What
awesome.
age level?
They were about 21 to 28 years.
Was it Cal Poly or what school is it?
No, it was the I'm going to butcher this, but the
That's all right.
conservation community, the state funded program they have. They
that's cool.
They bring kids around and
Nice.
introduce them to stuff and have them do projects.
Conservation
So,
Corps?
Conservation Corps. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The CCC won't let me be, so let me be me.
Never heard
Okay.
of it.
Yeah.
The Civilian Conservation Corps, is that what you were going for? Or
Uh,
California
something.
Conservation Corps.
California.
There you go.
California.
There you go. Sweet. So you take every opportunity to coach people up on what you're doing?
Yeah, I love it. We offer 2 tours a day, and oftentimes we get the school groups or colleges, all ages. It's really cool because you don't know what to expect when you come to a mushroom farm. Most people don't, and some people are skeptical of it because they're like, I don't want to go to the mushroom farm. But then after about 15, 20 minutes in, they're like, well, this is amazing. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Giving people really exposure to the inside of the mushroom farm and kind of talk about a little bit of industry, the health benefits, and also the complexities of running a mushroom farm every day.
Well, Frankie, he would join you in the mushroom farm any day of the week.
I would.
Yeah, we would love to have you.
I would.
Yeah.
I don't have to get it off Instagram anymore.
Right?
So do you have any of the psychedelic?
No.
Yeah.
I got the tea. I got all that good stuff.
All
My daughter
right.
got me into it, and there is a bunch of health benefits to it.
Yeah.
It's
no.
impressive.
His
There
daughters
is.
also made him vegan for like a week.
It was a week.
Okay.
It didn't
Yeah.
work well for me.
All right.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is.
Especially when he eats chicken wings every Wednesday here and
Well, and beef
and a
and-
ribeye
yeah,
for his
That sounds good.
birthday. Yeah,
No.
ribeye for his birthday. All right. Well, we have we love having entrepreneurs on, just hearing the stories because nothing's ever easy. People, pints, possibilities, our core values. So beer brings us in, but the people always keep you coming back. You had people along the way. Obviously, you came from somewhere. We love to hear those stories. So tell us a little bit about Chris Batlle growing up, where you're from, and also the things that inspired you or, values you picked up. What made you, man?
Oh man, how much time do we have?
Pick the good stuff.
Yeah, so spent most of my childhood down in Orange County, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna area. Went to Huntington High. Go Oilers.
Dude.
And had a great childhood. I mean, I grew up on the beach. I mean, it was part of the whole surf culture, you know, kind of old school surf culture down in Huntington Beach. And, you know, it was like beach was every day, surf every day. I mean, it was even part of PE. It was our class, you know, like you had to be down at the pier at 6 a.m. and you get to surf until about 9, 10 o'clock and be back to school. So
that's crazy
wild.
cool. I grew up in Redding, California.
Yeah.
And that's like not a thing. Frankie's daughters, though, actually, Frank's oldest daughter right now, Carmi's on the surf team at Cal Poly.
Yeah,
Oh, rad.
got on it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, longboarding. So
Nice.
yeah, she doesn't really tell me too much about it, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch her somehow someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You
She
don't even
wants
have
to
a
share that schedule with me. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So you grew up in that surf culture, and how the hell does a guy from there, you know, what
here.
you grow up, you start, you know, you start your life, and what do you do in Laguna when you want to be an adult? Like, how does that?
So I met my wife in Laguna, and I met her in Huntington. So that's kind of where it kicked off. And then I ended up in Laguna Beach with her. But I did work on a lot of homes in Newport Beach and Laguna area because I was a general contractor down there. And so I worked on like the 1% of the 1% homes on the beach.
Dude,
Huge
selling
projects.
OC. I saw it. I saw
Yeah.
it. There's some
It's a
badass places.
Bubble. Beautiful. I mean, yeah, it's just a crazy, you know, keeping up with the Joneses is kind of a joke. But it's beautiful, you know, it's well manicured and it's just beautiful. So
What led you to contracting? What was the?
I've always been into the building stuff, hands-on. I've had the engineer brain to like design. The biggest thing is, you know, my mom. So one of the, you know, biggest influences in my life, you know, my mom and my dad. You know, my mom's an interior designer, and she still is to this day. And so when you grow up with a mom as an interior designer, your house is always changing. I mean, you get used to the couch and 6 months later, there's a new couch there. So things in design have always been influenced in my life. Function as far as, you know, how chairs are engineered, how tables are engineered. You know, there's a specific, you know, metric for these things that are being built in people's homes or whether it's commercial or residential. And I really was drawn to, you know, building stuff and working with wood. And that developed into getting into welding, working with glass. And so early on, I was, you know, building furniture, and I had my own fab shop because I was in construction. So I had my own shop. It was a wood shop and a metal shop. Went to school at Orange Coast College and got certified as a light duty welder. And then I also took 3 years of furniture design, furniture making, and worked under a prestigious furniture artist or furniture professor.
Wayfair.
His name was Wayfair.
Mr. Fair.
Mr. Wayfair.
His name was Tim Peters, and renowned, you know, amazing woodworker. And so he really inspired me. And then what was really cool is being able to learn about welding as well on a just a commercial scale, but light duty. I was able to incorporate that with a lot of my furniture. And
Is that why? So now I have a great like foundation for why your backyard looks so sick. You love building shit in your backyard, huh?
It's a bug.
I
Yeah,
see
I
it on the
love
IG. I picked up hats from summer back when I was working in the school district, and I'm looking at your backyard like, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
Thank you.
you used every bit of the space back there? Yeah, and you're still going. I bet.
Oh, it's
It's
ever
like the
evolving.
Winchester mystery backyard.
Well, it's like when when you grow up down the beach culture down south, you don't have any backyard. You know, all the houses are tight, right? And so one of the things when Summer and I moved up here to the Central Coast and we bought our first house, it was on 3/4 of an acre in Atascadero. And it was full of sprawling oaks, hadn't been touched. And I was just like, holy cow, what can I do with all this property? And so, yeah, we renovated it and made it awesome for the first time when we moved up here, and sold that house and then moved into the one that you saw.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is game on. Like,
Yeah.
let's make this thing bitchin' back here.
And you and your wife are entrepreneurs. You could probably fix up houses and sell them for a living too, you know?
That crossed our mind, when we moved up here in the early 2000s, thanks to my wife who introduced me to the Central Coast. I honestly, full disclosure, I had no idea the Central Coast existed. It was like,
why would you?
Right? I mean, I was like,
you're in a good spot down there, and that's the life.
I was like, we would go to LA, or I would too, over my upbringing, or to San Francisco, or to another state. And I remember that one of the days she's like, oh, we're going to go visit my family in Atascadero. And I'm like, Atasca, what? What are you talking about? And at that point, we would just come up and, have a great weekend. It was wine tasting and doing all the fun adult things, and started to fall in love with it. And at that time, construction was construction down in Orange County. And I was just like, man, I really like it up there. And she goes, would you move up there just randomly? And I was like, yeah, like really, like we would just move everything up there. And at this time, Summer had a business, a day spa right on PCH on the ocean for like 15 years. And super bougie little boutique spa. We had 3 treatment rooms, about 30 employees. And movie stars would go there. It was like a pretty well-known spot to go and get treatment. And so, yeah, it was kind of a wild part of our times. But we decided to drive up here and move, and we had to shut that business down. And then I stopped doing what I was doing down south. So that was kind of one of the first big moves, to kind of like
bold
drop
move.
it. Yeah, I was like, oh.
You're like, wait.
But I mean, I'd spent most of my upbringing there in Orange County. I was like, man, this isn't reality here. Like I got to make a couple $100,000. She's got to make, a couple $100,000 or more
And
just to like survive,
enough. Yeah.
or like, it's just so expensive, and, you make a good amount of money, but it does nothing down there. It doesn't go very far,
The kingdom, right? You got to be born into it, kind of. A lot of those people are kind of, their parents had businesses or things like that, or do you find that? Like the people who were successful, like.
Yeah, definitely they had, some help, and then I was like, like you just brought up, I'm like, dude, we're going to go build our own kingdom. Like, let's get out of here. So we did. Yeah, we packed up, and this is obviously before kids. And so it was a little easier to travel, but she ended up like commuting every weekend because the spa was still operating, you know, and that was when, the breadwinning roles switched. Although she was carrying her own bread at that time as well. But I was like, I didn't have a job. I didn't know anybody up here. I was like, what am I going to do? I can do construction, but it was also like 2007, which was like the crash of everything. Like construction was down.
Yep.
There was like,
There was no work.
million houses on the market that were short selling. And, so I was like, all right, you're going to be carrying us for a little bit. And so we, that was, Summer, bless her soul. She's like, all right, I'm gone. And like would bomb down to, Laguna, work the weekend, bomb back up on Monday. And I was just like trying to apply for jobs. I remember at one point I was applying, I got so far down the totem pole, I was applying at Home Depot. I was like, dude, I just need something,
Dude.
And
no ego though.
No ego. I was just the ego was there. Believe me, I was like here, and then I just was like, I am needing to bring something in, and we were renting a little place here off of 10th and Park, right off the Central, or not Central, but
Spring,
the Paso, Spring, right behind Paso Inn.
Got you.
That was our first spot we got, and we were just trying to make it work, and.
Just to be clear, if my wife had to leave every weekend like that, I would be in a robe with a bottle of whiskey Saturday through Sunday, and look put together on Monday.
Yeah,
I will tell you.
So you're a good man, Chris.
It's not as fun as you think. Martha had to. Martha did 6 months of back and forth to Fresno too. It's kind of. I hate to be like the pussy guy who's like missing his wife, but it was kind of lonely, like boring. You know, you're like, man. And if you go see something cool, you're like, I wish she was here to share it, you know? Like, I don't know. Shit, it must be.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I meant.
But I mean, a robe.
it was like, it's like.
With the whiskey.
Maybe good for like the first whatever day or half hour or so after she left. And then you're like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll keep busy, you know? And then it starts to set in. You know? You're like, dude, I want her back.
Dude, I want to jump back before your move because you guys, she already had a business and you were kind of doing the contractor thing. Obviously, you guys have an entrepreneurial spirit. Where do you think that came from, like growing up? You just wanted to do your own thing? Were you different than everybody else? What do you think led to that?
I think we're both really obviously self-driven and like whatever, you know, and I'll speak on my behalf and Summer as well, just that like whatever we do in work or life, it's like you have the opportunity to do it well. And if you know how to do it well and you do, the reward from whatever you are doing well is like exponential.
Yeah.
So it comes back. And like, I have always been that way. Like I'm the guy that gets the low level job to start in an entry level and just like does circles around the next guy in front of me who's been there for 15 or 20 years, not intentionally trying to put this person out, but like just hungry to learn more and more and more and get better and better. And, you know, early on it was a lot of little things, you know, here and there. And then as it got more like concentrated and more focused on like what I was doing and getting better and better at what I was doing, it kind of all melded together. Like, you know, how you treat people and how you, you know, respect people and listen and, you know, all of these characteristics that like would be good to have with someone like you meet for the first time, you know, and how excited they get about it. You know?
Did you have any mentors in there that like really stuck out that kind of when you were young or during this change that inspired you?
Not like off the top of my head. I mean, I think there's a little bit of influences from a little bit of everything that I've been doing. I don't know. It's just like this burning fire inside of me.
Dude, you know,
like
just get after it.
Just go.
And your wife has it. You guys are like, you know, like people joke. It's, I mean, it's in jest, but it's real. Like you're the power couple. But talking about that move, one thing that clues me in is like, you both are really driven people. I love your personality. I love your spirits. You know, obviously the vibe titan, vibes recognize vibes, you know, and, but you're also confident in, like you said, it could have been when you're transitioning to SLO County, that can break people up when she's driving back and forth, hustling, doing her best, and you're trying to find your rhythm, and you guys are still thick as thieves, like rolling, you know, supporting each other, because you believe in each other, I guess, right? And
I mean, I've had some younger experiences where like, if you're exposed to maybe situations that you're not comfortable with and then having to adapt to that and not always going the comfortable route, I think that develops, you know, certain character in yourself to like do go for it, not be insecure, to have more confidence, because in the end, like no one really cares, you know? Like,
they don't.
It's like, you know, really,
Amen.
like, it's just like, okay, whatever. You're like, you don't like what I do. That's fine. Then someone else will, or someone else might, you know?
The haters actually are always going to hate.
They are.
The people who love you are always going to love you. Yeah, right?
We have a term for that. We call it shaking off the wolves.
Shaking off the wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my, there's a song by the Elevators, one of my favorite bands, and Summers as well. But they sing this song called Shaking Off the Wolves. And it's basically, you know, the short version of it is like, you know, you have your life and you have certain successes in your life and you have people involved in that life, and the haters or the wolves come at you at different directions. And us being a compassionate person, at first we'll be like, hey, you know, maybe I could help you and whatever, situation is, or be supportive. But then you realize how much negativity comes at you, and you're like, okay, not to be selfish, but what is this benefiting me? Are they reciprocating back, or am I actually going to help this person through this and like it's going to be good on the other side?
Yep.
Or is it continual, habitual, like nagging, complaining, or woe is me, this world? It's like, well, bitch, you have a decision. Like
you have a choice.
Yeah, like get out of whatever you're doing. Make another choice, and then that's when the wolf gets shooken.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I got to keep that driven path of like, they say it's lonely at the top, but like a lot of, successful people, I'm still always striving for success, but, have a tighter and tighter circle.
Yeah.
And I start to see that more often, not being, like I said, selfish, but it's more of like just time, like you get this and you get less time. So you have to be like super diligent about your time management on a daily basis, because I fall short to it sometimes where I just rabbit hole out for 3 hours, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get back on track, and then those add up by the end of the week and you're like, dude, I didn't get to that, and then I put that pressure on myself, and then it's like, okay, we got to move forward. So
hell yeah.
Shake the wolves.
What are the core values that you carry with you, your family, or what do you guys really try to focus on?
So I would say in the last like 2 years has been like super build mode. So, or maybe 3 years. So I, fully, I don't feel like I always have this guilt that I'm not putting enough back into my family. Summer does reassure that with me, and my kids do, it's just something that I always hold over myself. Because we do work 24/7. I mean, it's even sitting on the couch trying to relax and it's like, boom, we're doing something. But I think that's like the point where you're like, okay, I can do this right now, and maybe I should be doing something else with my kids or spending more time with this. But when you have a partner that is also driven the same way you are, and you're both doing the same thing, and we have, there's times when someone and I sit on the couch and have like 2 or 3 hour discussions about what if, where's this going? How about this? How do we deal with that? And it's like constructive conversation of, the good things that happened that day, or like, what if we were doing this? Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. And we just kind of spitball back and forth. And that's a lot of the reasons why we have had, so much tremendous growth, is because I'm able to have a partner to bounce things back and forth from, that's my rock.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. And you're both gangster, dude. You both go hard. Like you're going hard every minute, every day, and that's gangster is a positive term. If you're born back in the late 70s.
Super gangster.
Super gangster. But yeah, so for you moved up. All right, let's stay with it.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Frankie, what do you got?
She's commuting.
Yeah.
You're up here.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So how are we transitioning to our pints, what you do now? So that whole process happened for quite some time. And I came across a Craigslist ad. And it's something I don't mention often, but like before I was in construction, I worked on the sport fishing boats down in Newport Beach. Okay.
So I started as what they call a pinhead, where you fish for free essentially, and you clean the boat. And then I was 14. And then I got on the boat so many times that the captain, his name was Mark Idemiller at that time. And Mark's like, hey man, you want to, start working weekends or whatnot, whatever. And I was like, I was so excited because I got to go fish for free, and so I did that for like about 3 years, working on the sport boats while going to school. And here's the other thing. I couldn't drive from Huntington Beach to Newport Beach. So I would ride my bike. It was 7 miles each way. And I had a beach cruiser with no gears, but I'd jump on the boardwalk and I would ride and work triples, or I'd work double half day or twilights. And I was I look at it now, I see my 15-year-old and I'm like, you imagine your 15-year-old riding on the boardwalk 7 miles at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning with all the drunkers and weird people. But I did. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I got to go home. And I'd made a lot of cash,
That you were holding while you were riding your bike?
While I was riding my bike in my backpack. It smelled like fish. But I was making good money at 15 years old. And that was kind of like my first real job, you know?
Yeah.
And then...
And there you are grinding, you know, 15 years old.
My captain that I worked under, you know, now that I think about him, he was very influential to me at a young age. And that's probably why I have OCD. Or a form of it. I'm sure everybody has something of it, but I'm very particular about way things are, how things are ran, you know,
especially the way the boat.
Yeah, the farm is, like any weird sounds, like we're really tuned into that like vessel, you know. And like he used to charge us in the galley where everybody eats in the kitchen on the boat. If he found a single fish scale like on a bar or a table or anything, he would charge us a quarter out of our pay. So you can imagine a fishing boat with 75 to 100 people on it.
Is that because he didn't want to lose them, or because they got lost, or what was the reason? They got left out all the times? Or?
No, scale like a fish scale.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, like as in an actual
as a
scale.
actual scale. A little
shit,
clear.
I thought like a scale. Like
if you've ever been fishing and fish scales get stuck everywhere and they dry, he would have this little pinky nail and he would like pop them up. He's like, oh, there's a quarter, there's a quarter, quarter. I'm like... So, but all the other deckhands are trained on there.
I wish we could do that. If there's a beer stain anywhere,
yeah, right.
One chunk of grain in the brew
25
house.
Cents.
Yeah, it was. He's the one that was like the boat's got to be immaculate every day, trip, whatever. And so that really instilled in some of my good friends that I'm still with today, of how we are and being clean and respectful. I was also doing like. Now that we're talking deep into it, I used to have to stand on the back of the bait tank at 15 years old and talk to 75 people at once. And
75 people were fishing?
Yeah, we held 75 people each
That's a
trip.
big boat.
Yeah. And you had to tell them like where we were going, how to tie a hook. And so we called it like a rent rod speech, because all the rent rodders would go on there. And but that's how we made our money. We made money on tips, personality, hospitality, making sure things were done right. The fish were cut properly because we charged for everything, right? And so
sounds like a bartender.
Dude,
yeah.
You just service.
Same idea.
Service of people, man.
Now we're talking about like, at 15, 16 years old, like that was kind of the foundation of a lot of the things I am with people out today, my way of life. But anyways, seafood in it. So I was a deckhand.
By the way, that's what we fucking do around here. We dig it out of people because I do want to point this out. Like, I love that you said that because I think Frank and I, our investment is we talk about this all the time and we kind of came from education. People miss all the grinding little steps in between. Like today, just a stupid example. Frankie's already got all the Christmas stuff down. All of our people are helping, trying to take an area to put stuff up, but like people miss the point of like storing it properly, having it ready, having it labeled, and nothing's perfect around here. But it's like they come and they say, oh, you have a 30-foot Christmas tree and all these things, but there's a ton of work that goes behind it,
right? That
has to be well organized. And if you do organize it well, then it's not a ton of work,
Right.
And you were learning that at a young age, and you're doing the same now. We'll get to it with your mushrooms and everything. It's like how you're telling people to deliver things and organize those deliveries and keep track of it and all that. It starts when you're young.
Yeah.
And I think people miss that. A lot of the people that aren't successful, the only thing I always say to them is it was messy for everybody in the beginning. Like we were all just learning, but there's a few things that we're never missing. The ability to look foolish in front of people and just put yourself out there. You have to go for it, right? You got to take a risk like you're doing moving up here. The second thing is you got to work freaking hard, right? And then the third thing is you have to adjust when you fuck it up, take responsibility, and fix it, right? And so it's like, look at your guy. If you said it's a quarter for a scale, well, that's impossible. I quit, right? Yeah. And people would do that, I'm sure. But here we sit, and so I love to point that out. It's like you learn those skills, and they're not lost on anybody. So
I agree.
Yeah, so you're rolling now. Dude, you're learning from the boat.
Yeah, learn from the boat. I mean, when you're dealing with the public, you're dealing with all kinds of stuff, right? So you're kind of gaining some education there as well. Now that we're kind of ripping back the onion peels right now,
that's what we do.
but yeah, that was a pretty big influential part of my life. Now that
So you're going to school and working on the boat
at the
Yeah,
and riding your bike,
Yep.
back and forth, and you're ready. And fast
captains
forward.
are always really nice on those boats to the deckhands, right?
Gnarly. Yeah.
Best
And
friends.
So like back in the day, there was hazing, obviously, and I got a good hazing story when I was you're so excited to be able to go work on the boat, and all the captains talk, right, and the whole fleet, and one of my captains, the Twilight captain, Rob Ellingbo, and he's like, hey, when we get in, we got about 5 minutes, and I need you to run over to Davy Jones' locker, which is like 100 yards up on the docks, right? And you're going to go get a bottle of prop wash from him. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you're also going to get a compass bearing. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. He's like, before we even tie up, I want you to jump off the bow and run down the dock because it's Saturday in Newport and there's 1 million people down there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So the bow gets up to the dock. I jump off and I'm running to the other sport fishing company, and I get up on the boat and I'm like, hey, I came from Robbie, the boat. I need to get prop wash and the compass bearing. And the guys are all on there, and he's like, okay, no problem. Here, let me get it. And he hands me this Gatorade bottle, and the Gatorade bottle says explosive, do not drop, right? Then he hands me this bar. It's all bent and like, I don't know what it was. And he's all, whatever you do not drop this bottle of prop wash. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm running back the other way. All the deckhands, all the boats on the commercial fishing fleet are parked in there, and they're all watching me run back with this bottle of Gatorade and a bar of some sort. And I didn't realize it until I got up to the dock, and Rob's like, "Oh, cool, man, you got it for me." He's like, "Yeah, we gotta be careful." And I'm like, look at the bottle, and I'm like, prop wash. I know what prop wash is. Well, do you know what prop wash is?
No. Water?
Prop wash is when the blade turns on the boat, underneath the boat, and turbulates the water back behind the boat.
Yes.
That's prop
Makes
wash.
bubbles.
Okay.
That's called prop wash.
Yeah, so you have Gatorade in
Yeah,
your hand.
I have Gatorade, fizzy Gatorade, and some bar. Well, if you know how a compass works, it doesn't use bearings.
No.
It's in liquid. It's based on
Floats and
gravitational
magnets.
pull.
Yeah.
So it dawned on me, but we used to haze each other at a younger age a lot. Like we'd put squid strips in our grilled cheeses raw
Ball.
and hand it to whoever we were cooking food for that worked there. Squid in your boot. I mean, we got so many stories for days.
Oh,
but anyways,
my God.
it's
But
a
you're
lot
a
of
good
experience.
sport. You learned it. There's a lot of mentorship in there.
Yeah, it's fun and play, and like everyone had a good time
love
that
it.
time. It wasn't.
I love it. All right. So you're up here. No, I love those stories. So you're up here, and now you're developing your craft because you were doing construction.
Yep.
Then you were doing seafood. You were surfing the whole time, and then now you go to wine. Is that so? You're up here looking for
we'll
jobs.
get up here to kind of connect the fishing industry with the other fishing industry. So my first official job up here was working down at the docks in Morro Bay, and so at the time it was privately owned by a gentleman named Brett Cunningham. And the commercial unloading facility down in Morro Bay was heavily trafficked by commercial fishermen. It's where they got ice and bait.
Is that by Tognazini's right there?
Yeah, it's right next to Tognazzi, just next to it. There's a little gray shack there. That was my office for quite some time. And fun story getting the job, but it's pretty long. So I get hired on, and because we have mutual friends in the fishing industry. And he's like, and he didn't want to hire me because he had hired like 6 or 7, or not hired, but he had interviewed 6 or 7 other managers for that position. And he's like, I'm sorry, I already got someone lined up and I'm going to hire. I was like, so I remember talking to Brett and I said, no, will you meet me? Because he wouldn't meet me. I said, can you meet me for coffee? Just give me 5 minutes of your time. I just want to talk to you. I want to meet you. I'll be the best employee you've ever had.
There's the grit. 7 miles, no problem.
But
We're meeting.
He said no to me twice.
And you didn't give up.
I didn't. I called him. I'm like, dude, I need this job. I know the fishing industry well. So we met over in Atascadero at Starbucks. And we talked for 30 minutes. And at the end of it, he's all, "You're hired." And he's all, "What do you need from me?" And I said, "This is the things I need." I said, "Well, I need a laptop. I need a company credit card. And I need you not to question what I'm going to do on the dock to get your business back and running." Because it was going backwards. He's like, "I can't do this. I can't manage this. I'm losing money." And so I said, "Well, I can manage it for you." And so like 2 weeks later, he pulled through and gave me the credit card and everything. And I got to remember what I was getting paid. It was peanuts. I mean, I don't even remember. It was so low. And I said, "Just give me 90 days and let's have our own evaluation after the 90-day period."
But you were getting paid more than what you were before.
Which was zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I'll just take the job.
Exactly.
So I got into it, and the commercial fishing industry is really hard to break into, because you have commercial fishermen that have been doing what they've been doing for many years.
Well, and this is a new location for you,
New
too.
location. Like, I didn't know any of the fishermen. Yeah, it was like straight into. So I just started back on a facilities basis, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make the dock function. So what needs to get fixed? What needs to run better? What kind of services do we provide? And worked on that one. And I knew that I would meet the fishermen over time and start to build those relationships. And a lot of this has to do with what I'm doing today.
So you just started to provide value immediately without messing with the people.
Yeah, it was like literally like, what can this facility do? We need to generate income. He's going backwards on it. He wants to let it go.
But you didn't go out there and give a speech to everyone about how you're going to save the ducks.
No, I was definitely
the goon ducks.
I was definitely the new guy, and I got a lot of cold shoulders.
Yep.
And, everyone wasn't super friendly with me right away.
Well, fishermen aren't friendly to begin with.
They can be
Well, I've been
way.
trying to get Frank to warm up to me for a while.
Yeah.
So military fishermen are even worse.
How old were you at this time?
This was in my early, 30s. How old was I? Yeah, my early 30s. No, maybe younger.
So
I'm
you're
trying to
young,
think.
and there's some old salty dogs you had to win over.
Let's see. No, it was like in the 26, 27, probably like 28, 29. I'm trying to remember. Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Maybe pre-30.
Late 20s?
Yeah,
okay.
late 20s. And in like 2 months, and nobody likes change, obviously. They were resisting the change that I was doing on the dock. Like, hey, this is the hours we're open. This is the hours we're closed.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have structure. You guys understand? We're not here 24 hours a day.
Because change, like with change, inevitably, if it makes it good for someone, it makes it bad for somebody else, right? So
Agreed.
we always resist that. Yeah.
Yeah, and long short on that is like I started to develop a lot of relationship with the fishermen. They started to understand my intention, and the dock, like within the first year, became extremely profitable.
Trust. You're building trust.
And not only that, I brought way more business. So like my first year in there, the dock was doing annually 5x of what it was doing prior. It was doing really, really good.
Wow.
And we
So
hired more people, and we got the equipment, and we were a facility that was set up,
Yeah, that's great.
You're kicking ass. So what the fuck happens?
Yeah, no, it was.
Dude, I'm on this. I'm in.
It was.
You're on the docks. I see it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Met a lot of people, obviously. Worked with what was called Morro Bay Fish Company at that point, and got a good reputation, and managed the other big part of that project was managing the ice house for Morro Bay, which nobody wanted to take on. The thing would make 30 tons of ice every 24 hours. But you got to think about how many fishermen use ice. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so that whole community, as well as people that are transient that are fishing in there, depend on that ice house. The nearest ice house, I believe, is in Santa Barbara. I can't remember now. But we were the only ice house, and Morro Bay is specifically sent to be like super central. So if you're coming from far travels up north, you typically stop in Morro Bay. And if you're coming from down south, you typically stop from Morro Bay. It's a good spot. So we started to attract more people, and like,
where's the ice house?
It's just left. So at the end of the dock. So we have like Taganzini's, the office, the unloading facility. There's 2 like refrigeration
Yep.
sea trains
Know
there. It's
exactly
just
where
on the
you're
other
at.
side of that,
Okay.
in front of that.
Okay.
And no one would undertake the maintenance of this ice house. And so I'm like, okay, cool.
Here we go again, taking a risk.
I was like,
Whose hand goes up?
well, if I can't do it, let's hire somebody, right? Like that's
Right.
one of my things. Like, okay, who specializes in this? So then, whatever. Yeah, I did the research on the
Yep.
unit, figured out who works on these types of units, and then made relationships with that like resource. And I'm like, well, is there someone that could come out and do this? And then it was hard. It was hard to get someone out there. I'm like, well, is there like a troubleshoot line that I could call? And so there was a lot of stuff that I had to figure out
Resources.
to make that thing work.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't give credit to. Like, some people did actually, but like making that thing work, it was like the lifeline, as you think about ice, of the commercial fishing fleet. I mean, some guys had like refrigeration systems on their boat, but a lot of people didn't, so they had to take an exorbitant amount of ice. And you got to think they take it when they go, and then they need it when they come back, and then you need it to unload into logistics, wherever your distribution is, with those kind of trucks as well, when it gets distributed down to LA or San Francisco. But anyways, that whole, seafood industry, startup, and then Central Coast Seafood, which is here in Atascadero, was around for a very long time, from the DeGaramore family. They also had, Giovanni's Fish Market.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the whole, the two Geos and Tony, the three brothers that I've told many stories about. They're all great guys. So little Geo has Giovanni's Fish Market down at the Morro Bay. And then big Geo, older Geo, took over Central Coast Seafood in Atascadero on El Camino. And I had worked with him quite a bit with Big Geo, because we would sell fish or transfer fish through their distribution. And as I began getting that rapport with him, he actually became one of my mentors, because then he recruited me. And he's like, hey, I really want you to come work for me at Central Coast Seafood, him and his wife, Molly.
What do you think he recognized in you? I love that part, because somebody to invest in you and believe in you, they have to see something.
He saw that I was very communicative. Like, I would call him. I was very informative about what was going on. I also kept him in like the know of like what's going on in the commercial fishing fleet, what fisheries are going on, what's coming in, and which then sets the stage for the market, nationally, of like what types of fish are coming in. Because there was quite a bit of fish coming into Morro Bay. And we just got better and better with each other and talked quite a bit. And then, there was a day that he was like, hey man, can we have a talk? You think about, I need a production manager, and like, you're very knowledgeable about all this stuff. And I was like, and being on the sport fishing boat back in the day, my knife skills are pretty ridiculous.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've cut thousands and thousands of pounds of fish over my course of life.
And you cut it like this when the boat's rocking the whole time.
Oh yeah. No. And every
you guys
kind
are
of
ninjas.
every kind of fish you could possibly. So that was like a trait that I learned early on when I was 15, of how to hold, a 12-inch Forstner and fillet anything that came on board with quality.
How many Band-Aids did you need?
So I cut my
None.
Zero. Look, zero.
one. I have one hospital injury.
Oh, that was it. That's not
That's pretty
bad
good.
after all those thousands of.
On New Year's Eve at Central Coast Seafood, cutting for, I think it was cutting for McPhee's, some salmon. Almost chopped my thumb off.
Oh man.
But Geo took me under his wing, at Central Coast Seafood. So I left Morro Bay Fish Company, and then worked in production, the production lines, production manager with them for quite some time. Got to learn a lot about the industry, and then Geo, there's a couple of salesmen in there, Geo and Tom Durkee, rest his soul, he passed away. But he was also a great mentor in sales.
Sales. Now we're getting to sales.
So this is where
We're picking up skills left and right here.
My dad. So I talked about my mom. When I have two dads, well, I have three actually, but my stepfather was more around. So when I was growing up, and And then my dad, he was there as well, not, to give him credit too, but my dad is an amazing salesman. Like, it's so deep in his blood. I've learned a lot from him on sales, like early on. Like, between having your mom being an interior designer and your dad being like one of the biggest commercial real estate salesmen.
What did he teach
influential.
you? What's the biggest thing? What's your best advice for people who are trying to?
I think my dad taught me hustle, to go after it too. But there's a fine line of like being aggressive and pushy versus, and I would say this now too, that I feel like my dad is more aggressive and more, not pushy, but a little bit more aggressive. Whereas my take is more, I don't want to say modern, but a little bit more finesse. Like, it's a little bit pulled back.
A little more tact, a little finesse.
It's a little bit more tact, and with the intentions to sell something, but in a good way.
Don't kick in the front door, but come in through the back door.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah. I tell people now, like, we're more about education. Which I've learned through all of these careers is like, you can't sell anything unless you're educated well about it.
Right.
And you can educate well about it. Because if the customer's not, they're not going to buy it or understand it.
Yep.
So,
and if you can't teach it, they can't learn it and then reteach it to somebody else. That system all works. I'm going to fix your microphone here because I need to see you, bro.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, got
there
it.
You go.
Got
yeah.
it.
Look at that. There you go.
Good.
You set it up. Dude, this shit is good. I still don't know. I can't wait. How the hell do we get from there? Because you're killing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like us. We worked in education and things were good and everything was great. And people said you'd be crazy to leave.
It wasn't yours, huh?
And here we go with another risk.
Yeah. So working with Central Coast Seafood, which then got bought out by Santa Monica Seafood. And Santa Monica Seafood obviously is a huge seafood distribution company.
Until the sun comes up over Santa Monica. So they come into town.
And bring some big business stuff into Central Coast Seafood, which was already well established. And they also brought in a lot of corporate training and a way bigger picture. I mean, it was probably the best timing that Gio and Molly could have worked on their exit strategy as entrepreneurs as well. Because we talked about, like I said, Gio was a huge mentor of mine. He taught me how to talk to people. He taught me how to, call restaurants and, because like cold calling restaurants when you haven't before is like, it's kind of a tough thing. The person doesn't know you. They don't recognize the number and you're like trying to sell them fish, And so after we got better and better, I slowly got more and more accounts with him and started learning more and more. And anyways, I have to really give Gio props because the Central Coast Seafood business model is very, very parallel to my current business. As far as distribution goes, customer base, commodity wise, perishability. I mean, it's all really, really simple or similar. Not simple by all means. It's not simple. Similar. It's very complex. But, we're in a central location. We have several routes that deliver. So there's a lot of that I took away from that learning experience, working for the seafood industry for about a decade. And when Santa Monica came on board, I was just buying more and more products. So dealing with the the commercial fishermen and buying bigger loads of products so it could go into distribution. And Santa Monica never had a, direct vessel purchaser where someone was buying. I was the only one in the whole company buying fresh fish from the West Coast, but using Santa Monica's distribution channel. And whatever they couldn't sell, I would wholesale down into LA to affiliate seafood companies. Pretty wild. We're talking tens of thousands of pounds of product a week of fresh fish. Like it had to go somewhere.
Moving. It has to move
So-
or it's done.
Typically they would call and let me know what was caught on the boat every day. And then I would have that product a home when it landed at the dock. Also, when they landed at the dock, I would have logistics, whether it would be, 5 semis with ice ready to go and them to have ice ready to go back out for another trip. So it was a pretty gnarly job. 7 days a week, weather permitting, every fisher you can imagine, from swordfish to Dungeness crab, live fish into the Asian markets. I mean, it was, like I said, the better part of a decade of just gnarly, wired, 12 cylinders all the time.
And you're still living right here?
Still living right here.
Nice. And is she still commuting?
No. So in the midst of all of that, we had made the decision to sell to one of the employees that was there, which kind of didn't go as well as planned. And, it was pretty heart-wrenching that they shut the doors shortly after we let it go.
Because people can't grind as hard as you and your
No.
wife.
Like we tried to like, co-carry the project and like lead this person in, and like she just couldn't get it. She's just gonna get it. I'm like, honey, we gotta let it go. We got to, and that's the time when she started making hats.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yeah. Pastor Robles' mom.
Pastor Robles.
Shout out. We're going to have her on. By the way, your
Paso
wife has
hats.
her own crew. She has her own crew. She got her own house. She got her own car. She's INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? Yeah, so we got to have Summer on because she has her own vibe to her. Yeah, which
that's
is
a whole
cool.
show.
But Martha and I, same way. We feel the same way. Like both of us grind and do our own thing. Tons of respect. So, you lose that business, and is she up here now or?
Yeah. So we're both up here full time at that time period. I'm going heavy into the fishing industry, and then
She's making hats.
this is how baller year one was when we moved up. So
Kids?
So here's this. So first year up. So within the first year, we bought a house.
Yep.
We relocated from a different county, obviously, pretty big move. I left my job. We got married that same year. Did I mention buy a house? I did.
Yep.
Bought a house.
Yep.
I got my job towards the end of that year, and Summer got pregnant.
That's a lot of life changes in 1 year.
It's like when we looked at the top 5 things you can do in your entire life, we did them all in the first year.
Yeah. So it was
Get
easy
them out of the
after
way.
that.
I like it.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we're done.
You
Like,
just wanted to
let's go.
stress.
Good.
You want to stress the marriage right off the bat to see how you guys would work out, or
It was pretty gnarly, but we didn't know any different. We just went for it,
Yeah.
like
Grinded that
like
too.
let's just go. So it was pretty gnarly first year.
So the seafood thing, how does it end, dude? We were there. What causes the change?
Yeah, so the owners of Santa Monica Seafood at that time, the Sigliano family, who I've dealt with very closely.
Is it only Italians in seafood, or what the hell's the deal around here? You're talking to Zini.
I'm
the
Italian.
Sigliano.
I'm Italian.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez, no
Yeah.
offense. All right.
All right, I have jokes.
boring
I don't
them
want to
English.
make them. I'm
Yeah,
scared
let
a
'em rip.
Cadillac's going to show up in front of my house. No, I'm cool, gentlemen.
Listen, I apologize right now.
So it got to a point where, I wouldn't say cruising altitude, but we had it pretty dialed in. And I was just like, man, this is such a grind. I need, I'm gone a lot, traveling, busy all the time. I'm like, what else is there out there? And so I had a friend in the wine industry, obviously, and they were getting ready to build their business up a little bit. And so they're like, hey, we want to create a management position, and we don't have one yet. And I was like, man, I really don't want to have to drive to Morro Bay, as often as I do. I want to get somewhere near in town. And so I got offered this job in the wine industry. And so I talked to the Siglianos. I remember talking to Anthony, and I was like, hey, dude, he goes, they were super bummed, obviously. And they're like, man, you're such a huge chunk of, revenue for the business, and you're the only one that can do this. There's no one else we can put in your shoe because they don't have any of the relationships that you built over the last decade with these fishermen. And I was like, yeah, I mean, what do you want to do? And it wasn't like I was asking for more money, but they had money, and he's like, he's like, what do you need to get you to stay? And I'm like, dude, I need like 4 more employees. I need another like 50 to 60K a year and a better commission. And at that point, I was doing fine. Very well taken care of at that point. And he's like, done. And I looked at him, I'm like,
Jim, you went in too low.
I'm like, really? He's like, dude, we want you to stay. Like, we want you to be with us for as long as you can. And I'm like, nah, I think I've made my decision. He's like, I totally respect that. He's like, I just want to let you know. We have many people that have left Santa Monica Seafood and come back.
That means they're a good company, because we say that here too. Yeah.
And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, we'll have your position, if you want to come back to it. And I was like, oh man, that I really appreciate having your blessing.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah. Like, he's like, what kind of notice are you going to give me? And I said, how about I give you 60 days?
Oh shit.
And he's like, what? And not 2 weeks. I said, I'll give you 60 days. And like, I built this up myself. I got to transition out myself in a way that doesn't feel like I just left high and dry in this industry.
Fair.
And so I did.
Wow, because I would have fired you immediately and said, I don't keep people that don't work here
most
anymore.
People do.
I'm kidding.
No, most people do when that 2-week notice goes in, not intentionally.
And you crushed it?
But they decline,
Yeah.
And like,
I went out hard.
I went out hard. I even set up the next person, which they didn't really have at that point. I wrote down everything. I mean, it was literally someone could have walked into that and did okay.
SOP it, and here you go.
Yeah, SOP, pricing, how the markets work, and seasons. I mean, it was a pretty elaborate program. And so when I left that, I felt good and got a job in the wine industry, starting with Sextant Winery.
Okay.
So on the west side, it's kind of their flagship winery.
And you're getting into wine when it's on the high time again. So you're hitting the upswing on all these.
Yeah.
Your timing is pretty good. Well, it's not great with the move. Your timing is good with the wine, right? It's on fire.
Yeah, and to mention the time out of the fishing season, I saw a decline in commercial fishing, like up and coming. So typically you would see like the older fishermen on there bringing in younger kids, and that was kind of going away. And then you also saw the regulations on the different types of way they're allowed to fish going away. And so that was one of the other decisions I made, because I did see it getting less and less and harder to have commercial fishermen in this industry or in that industry. So when I left, it just went way down. Now that dock, is still doing okay, but nowhere near what it was doing prior.
Yeah.
And you're going to see because our government shuts seasons down now and everything else.
Like
on
no
these
salmon
poor guys.
season or crab. They keep pushing the crab thing back. So yeah, there's a lot of it's difficult. It's a difficult industry now. So jumping into the wine industry,
you're going to hit the wine the same. You're going to hit it at a high and notice a decline and transition to your new thing. So the wine, how did the wine thing go?
So we had to create the position with the Stollers, which we did because they didn't have a facilities manager. And so that was my role there. And so we just started with one property. And then I was like, well, how many properties do we have? And they're like, oh, 7. And I'm like, oh, geez, okay. And then the job just expanded off of there. And they're like, and I've known the Stollers for quite some time because of the fishing industry. We have some mutual friends. And
is that Sextant? Is the Stollers?
Yeah.
And Sextant is on fire right now still, right?
Yeah, no, they're great. Yeah, they're still crushing it.
So you helped.
I was a part of it. I was part of like a lot of the back end stuff, getting like facilities like better maintained, equipment running a lot more efficient, streamlining a lot of the processes. And I feel I had my hand in a little bit of everything from vineyard to wine production to tasting room, and even some stuff outside the wine related industry for them, properties wise.
But did you even know shit about the industry before you started?
As far as making wine, no. But facilities wise,
organization,
equipment,
of people,
organization, like, setting up maintenance teams that are, okay, this is who you call when this goes out. This is what happens when you do this. And really putting together a package for them would run everything a lot more efficient, because obviously one guy couldn't do it all.
Yeah.
Although it was tried, but it was like, there's just no way I can do all of this. It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
But you want it all at a certain level of maintenance running that you have to build the teams in those areas and like pull them in when they need to be run or check on them or just get help. You know, there's those times when you need to ask for help, which a lot of people don't
So
do.
once again, you're kicking ass again in a new industry, right?
Brand new.
Rinse and repeat.
Yep.
You're going to do well, and I am going to fast forward to you because I want to. Do you want another beer?
Yeah, I think this one's getting
We'll
done.
do one more lager here. I'm going to do a half a hazy. Jake helps us out here. And now we're going to get to the good part because I want to know about
hazy.
this. Not that that wasn't good, but I do want to talk about this.
Yeah.
You're kicking ass again, and we can see the pattern now. Like, you're just throwing yourself into something, and you're not afraid to fail. You know, you're doing all that, and you're going to take a couple jobs within the wine industry, and at some point, you're going to make the decision
Yeah.
to cash it all in.
Done. It was that, and I think that was even harder because of the level of lifestyle we're at, and
Right.
what's involved.
Because you're
now.
doing well. You're continuing to build yourself up.
Yes. We had, what I call the, golden handcuffs, in the wine industry. They were very generous, taking care of me, and vice versa. I worked my ass off for them, but it was a good spot to be in. And so, and they also have a farming background, obviously. They're big farmers, especially out in the valley, legacy stuff within their family. And so they were supportive, early on when I had this decision with Summer, sitting on the couch one day in 2018. And she's like, why don't you just start growing mushrooms? And before that actual question happened, we had been really into foraging for mushrooms, or I was.
Where did you do that at?
So I can't
That
tell you.
sounds relaxing.
Really.
Damn it.
But no, here on the Central Coast, there's quite a bit of spots
Tell us
to go
why
out
you
here.
can't tell us. Let's talk about that. So what is foraging for mushrooms? You have secret spots, or how does that work?
I wouldn't say there's
Because
secret,
Frankie's
but
a survivalist military guy. He loves
Yeah.
the mountains, and
But
they
you-
call him. And
You have to be very knowledgeable about mushrooms also when you're foraging.
yeah, I mean, not be bold, but yeah, I mean, after doing it for a little bit, it's pretty obvious.
How did
in
you pick
certain
up
areas?
How did you pick up even starting to look for mushrooms?
Yeah, where did mushrooms come in?
Yeah,
I got a fisherman. I got a winery guy.
Getting out. Like, so being up here, not in like the beach culture down in Orange County, it wasn't necessarily a way for me to like go on a hike. You know what I mean? I was always surfing. So coming up here and being more exposed to more nature, I started hiking a little bit more and going on trails and like just was like, man, these mushrooms are awesome. Like,
That's fun. I love that.
one of my fisherman friends, I have to give him credit to, John, had been he is a great forager. Actually, he taught me quite a bit. And there was times during the season, the fishing season, he'd be like, dude, I'm out foraging, you should come. And so
That's a mentor right there. Yep.
he took me out, several times, and then we became really good friends. And he started to show me quite a bit. And then obviously I got more confident after that. And then we had some shared spots, and he had a lot of his own secret spots as well, or private. And then I started to develop my own, just on my own journey.
And this is your free time, by the way. This is just a passion.
Yeah, this is like kind of free time, but sometimes you have cell reception and you're working while you're foraging.
No, but I just mean you're foraging for you, not
Yeah.
for
Hobby.
business, or it's a hobby.
It's
Yes.
a total hobby.
Yep.
But the reward of me going out for like 3 to 5 hours and just disappearing in Mother Nature was a good sense of reboot for me.
Where have these mushrooms been in my life?
Yeah.
Frankie.
Even if I
okay.
didn't find
Frank
anything.
likes to get
even
lost.
Yeah, just out.
Just out, like smelling all the fresh air, different senses. Like it just kicked off so many things for me.
I have a new hobby.
Frank was a survivalist. He won't
Yeah.
he won't tell anyone, so
Yeah.
I speak for him. But
He does. He does well.
He loves the mountains.
Yeah.
You speak to him. You two could go get lost for a few days. None of us would find you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd be like,
long
"Hey
time.
guys, are you up there?" So you're out.
Okay,
You
I
love
love
mushrooms,
this.
and your wife encourages you.
Yeah. So she's like, "Oh, how was it?" And I would just feel so like, even if it was a little hike or a big one, I'd feel exhausted.
Yeah.
Because you're going deep, like off trail stuff. And then 2, which I also found out early on, the first property that we bought in Tascadero, that I'm not allergic to poison oak.
I was just about to ask about poison oak.
Yeah. The house, when we got it in Atascadero, when I said it was sprawling oaks, I thought that were oak trees.
Poison oak?
But the poison oak looked like oak trees because it was so old growth and no one had touched the property. And I didn't know any different. I went out there with the chainsaw one weekend on a Friday. And I removed like 3/4 of the property, drug it all the way to the top. I mean, we're talking a sea train stuffed full, like poison oak. And the pile was up there. And so on Monday, I called the tree service people.
And they're like, fuck that.
And I go, hey, can you guys come pick this up? And the guy shows up. He's like, oh, I need to give you a quote on how much it's going to cost to move it. And he's like, where'd all this come from? I said, oh, just right here on my property. And he goes, who did it all? And it was all like stacked, real easy to like reload into a sea train or a what do you call it? Dump bins.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did this weekend. He's like looking at me, a tank top on. And he goes, dude, this is all poison oak. And I was like, what the fuck's poison oak? And he's like, dude, this is all old growth poison oak. You look fine. And I was like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, we'll get rid of it, whatever, no problem. So I go back in the house, and then like Tuesday, Summer wakes up.
Oh,
and she's got poison oak all over her.
Yeah. Smoked.
And she's super allergic to poison oak. And I was like, oh, shiitake.
That's what he said.
Yeah. So from that day forward, every day that I do go foraging, everything gets stripped down in the garage and goes straight into the washer machine.
Nice.
But for the record, I don't get it. I've been out a couple times. Last week I went out. It's pretty thick right now too.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah. But fortunately,
So take us to the
foraging,
moment.
and then the moment of us sitting on the couch.
You got a good job.
Got
Your
a good
life
job.
was good.
Life's good.
You don't have to mess with it
2018.
again.
No,
you could
it's
just
like-
be satisfied.
But the thing was, I was fulfilled in some ways in the wine industry because it was hitting all cylinders, but not truly. And so when the mushroom topic came up on the couch one night, someone was like, you only get mushrooms during the season, and we don't get mushrooms all year round. They're super healthy for us. Like we need them in our diet, and what was available here, commercially or available in grocery stores or whatnot, it wasn't. It was like just button mushrooms. Everyone knows the button mushrooms or portobello mushrooms, right? And we wanted more of the exotic, more nutritional ones like the lion's mane and the chestnuts and different types of oysters, king trumpets, all the stuff that we grow. And no one was really doing it here on the Central Coast. So not at that exact moment thinking it was going to be a business. It was strictly a personal use program. So I was like, let's see if we can grow mushrooms on our own. Went on Amazon, ordered a grow kit. Have you guys ever done a grow kit?
No, but I need to get one from you.
Dude, they're so fun. And that creates that experience that we had. So I ordered this thing from some big box producer, right? And this
That's
mushroom
how I made my first beer, by the way.
with what?
Amazon.
With Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his thing.
Before Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
And it was horrible.
You bought a grow crit
It was
beer?
it wasn't a grow kit. It was like one of those, like it was
beer
a
kit?
plastic ball or and it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Frank's like, I'm going to kill this. Yeah. All right.
So this grow kit grows on the countertop, and like that was the rabbit hole for us. Like we're like, oh my gosh, these mushrooms are great. Kids wouldn't even touch it. And we ate it, and I was like, remember telling Summer, I go, man, it'd be so cool if we had our own grow kit. Totally joking around. And obviously now today we do have some amazing grow kits, but that was when I was like, okay, well, this was kind of easy. How do we do this? So tried to research it online, didn't find anything. People wouldn't tell you anything. No one shared any information online.
Kind of like where you forage.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like,
same thing.
dude, just how do I grow mushrooms? No one was really into it. And so I started reading books. I just went to literature, no, obviously biology or mycology background. Started reading some like scientific literature and just like, okay, I'll just read. It doesn't cost me anything to buy a book, low level entry, and got some information confident enough to be like, okay, we can make a tent in the garage I can do this, this, and this. And literally just, that's what I did. We started growing mushrooms. About 4 to 5 pounds a week of fresh mushrooms in the garage in a little plastic. It wasn't even a tent. It was like a piece of Visqueen that I like stapled to the drywall and dropped down some plastic. And I took my kids,
but you're pumped to do it right now.
so pumped.
And you
dude.
left your
I was
ass
like,
off where you are right now and where you started, right?
Oh my gosh. I don't have a picture of the grow kit that I grew out, but like I should have, because it was the most ugliest thing I've ever seen. But when you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. You have to start.
It's cool.
Oh, it was
like,
beautiful when you built it, though.
oh yeah,
You're
right. I was
"Look
like,
at this
okay,
shit."
this looks kind of. Is this what it's supposed to look like?
And
You
the
know,
kids are like, Dad's building some crazy shit in the garage. Like,
so the humidifier that's usually in the kids' room when it's dry, it's in there like keeping this tent moist. And boom, we started growing mushrooms, and it was like, well, this is. And when you see your first, I do have videos of Sebastian and I picking the mushrooms. But when you see this thing, it's just like that satisfaction of like creating something from scratch that creates something beautiful, and mushrooms, when they grow so freaking fast.
How fast do they grow?
Typically like 7 to 10 days from the actual mushroom
quick.
part. But like, the back end might take like 3 weeks, but essentially it's like, 30 days and you're like cranking away.
That's
If you were to start from scratch. The grow kits grow in like 7 days.
Wow.
They're fast. But there's a lot of back end work. And so that continued all through, in 2018 and then in 2019, still working the wine job, I was working like 15, 16-hour days. 7 days a week, like trying to like figure out mushroom farming. And so I went and talked to a few of my chef friends in the area. And that's when we started to think about, man, there's a business here. What are they doing in food service? So I started asking around and seeing the types of mushrooms that were in food service. I'm like, dude, there's no one in the restaurant industry doing this or in food service. And so I had a couple chefs here, and then they're like, well, yeah, we want this. Start bringing them samples. And like, dude, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's grown in my house. Like, you guys into it? And they're like, yeah, we're super into it. And then Edo, who's over in Tin City next to us, Pastifico, was the first retail location we had. And Brian and Steffi were like, we used to work out with them in the morning. So did Summer. That's kind of how we met them. And then Brian's like, hey, your husband's growing mushrooms. Like, let's sell them at the retail store. Let me throw a newsletter out. Why don't you have Chris come set up on a Saturday? And so I was like, all right, we'll try it out. And so on Saturday, he put a newsletter out, first newsletter. He's like, you need to test the direct-to-consumer market. And I'm like, dude, I just want to do restaurants. I want to do wholesale. Okay, I want to move product. And that first Saturday, I show up, and there's like 30 people waiting.
Oh.
I'm like, what are all these people here for? And they're like, to get your mushrooms, bro. And I'm like, what? And like, sold out in like 15 minutes. It was like, Brian's like, yeah, we're doing next Saturday too. And I'm like, okay. So like for several months, we did that Saturday to kind of build the local market on Mighty Cat mushrooms. And so all through 2019, we were growing 50 pounds of mushrooms a week out of the house.
Wow.
50.
oh shit.
Yeah. And 2020, the beginning of 2020, that's when, this is a funny story. Summer, essentially gives me the ultimatum.
Dude, here we go.
Yeah, this is the turning point right here. So she says, hey, Chris, we're eating dinner with kids and everything. And she's like, Chris, this is kind of getting a problem. And I'm like, what? She goes, well, we're never seeing you. You're working 7 days a week. Are we mushroom farming, or are you in the wine industry? And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm like still in proof of concept. She's like, you're spending all of our money on this hobby. You're spending all of our extra finances, holiday, everything. And I was like, something's gonna hit. Like, no one's doing this. I'm getting
This
a lot of
brewery
feedback.
is gonna make it big.
Yeah, right. Someone's got to do it. And the chefs are loving it, and like people want more. And so that's when COVID hits. And she's like,
fucking COVID.
yeah, lame. And she goes, I want you to look around the house right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you need to make a freaking decision now. Like, I don't know what we can do anymore. And so when I looked up, she's like, so the garage was full of like mushroom stuff. The living room, the dining room, and the kitchen full of racks of mushroom bags. The backyard grow room that I built a semi-automated, like fully teched out grow room so that I could work 2 jobs and farm, be at the winery and still come home and have mushrooms growing. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a problem. She's like, yeah, like we don't even have our house. This is just out of control. And so COVID hits and I go, I need to go out and test the market. She's like, what do you mean? There's no one going to be open. Everything's shut down. And so let me just go out there and see. And so all of the friends and relationships that I had made in the seafood industry, this is where this all ties together. Restaurants, chefs.
Relationships, right?
Nice.
Service.
All knew you.
Yep.
One of the things my dad did tell me, never burn a bridge.
Yep.
I don't know how bad you want to burn that bridge, but just never do it. It's not worth it. You don't know how full circle it's going to come back at whatever later date. So all those relationships started coming back into my mushroom, business program. And so I went out. Everything was, a lot of places shut down. I came back to the house and I said, Summer, you're never going to believe this. And she said, what? She goes, I said, you're never going to believe how many pounds of mushrooms I have for standing orders in restaurants. And she's like, what? Like 100 pounds? And I said, no, 350 pounds a week of fresh mushrooms to the restaurants here. And she's like, what? So can we make it? And I was like, I don't know if it's really going to support a family of 4, but she's like, can you leave the winery? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And so some of the health things that we've gone over, I know you guys probably know, but my wife's a survivor. And so early on we had to go through, the unfortunateness of, is that a word? Unfortunateness? Going through, cancer, and which was really, really tough, but, working with, the winery and having, the insurance and, that stability backbone of like, okay, cool. We got something to lean on, even with Santa Monica Seafood's corporate insurance that we had, that was phenomenal. It gives you that sense of like, oh my gosh, if we go outside the line, what's going to happen, And that was honestly one of the biggest, scariest points for us, to go out on our own for honestly like health insurance. And I
want to cut in right there, which is, we don't need to dig into it, but the ability to, that's scary. You guys have been through adversity, adversity. And so to make a decision to do that through adversity is like, everybody makes excuses. It's funny, like when you meet other people and they're like, I can't do this because, and they're trivial reasons. And you guys are going through as tough as adversity as you can go through, and you still have the commitment and the wherewithal to kind of keep moving forward is impressive, And I remember having conversations, I'm sure you were having them with everybody, because we had left the school district, which we had I'd known Summer just through that informally, and you guys, and you were trying to make the decision, and it was like, there's really no good advice. Like, you're going to put your whole self on the line, right? You're going to burn the boats, And on top of that, you have your wife and her friends who have been through adversity, and a whole crew. And like you said, the stability of the insurance, which is crazy because we had school insurance and it's phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah. Institutional insurance is great. Your own private insurance is a fucking nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
And it's expensive and everything in between. And to still have the balls to like chase your dream and go out for it is one of those pieces, once again, that people miss, that just the grind of it, Yeah.
And like, you might not have the,
security,
it's
easy,
or something to fall back onto. And like, even if you did have something to fall back onto, maybe it wouldn't push you to jump, and
that's a great point.
It's hard.
If you stay in the blanket in the morning, you're not going to work out.
Right.
If you throw it off of you, right, it's like.
But I mean, maybe reasoning wise, I wasn't like fulfilled like I am now. Like for what my wife does for people making hats for people, as well as what we do for growing food and creating some really cool things about mushrooms and educating about it. Like the reward, it's like, how passionate you guys are about making beer and what you guys do for the beer industry. And it's like, it's such a different perspective to be on, because it's so much more fulfilling to me, as well as Summer, whether she makes one hat or, 1,000 hats for somebody, it's so impactful, but so simplistic in a way.
Yeah. It is crazy, right? When I was working in education, I always thought I was doing like better work, and now we make beer and people think you're doing something tremendous, for the community, and you're like, no, I used to do it and you just didn't appreciate it, I guess, or I mean, like,
no, we are doing it.
And so here we are. Now we're doing the work. We're doing the Lord's work here, Frank.
We are
making beer. So you take the leap.
So I take the leap. Can I take the leap into the restroom?
You can get after it. Yeah, take
quick
a break.
sponsor break here.
Hey. All right, so you get the orders.
Yeah, get the orders.
Things are coming in, and have you quit the wine job yet?
Yeah, so shortly after we got that those numbers back, I'm like, okay, we're gonna do it. And this is one of those other great moments too. I'm talking about the story now, but everybody was like, dude, you're crazy. Staying in the winery. You got the wineries going, no matter the world's at a unstable state. We don't know where it's gonna go. And I said, yeah, I'm being taken care of the winery. We're still working full steam over there. And the places that did stay open, we're still buying our mushrooms. And so I said, nope, we're gonna do Mighty Cat mushrooms, especially after getting that number back. And I said, the biggest thing to have is a good perspective on whatever you're doing, because a lot of people react quickly and knee-jerk reaction of like, no, this, negative. And I was like, well, sometimes I can be a pretty quiet thinker and I need to process this. But if we're like this now, what is it going to be like in 5 years? Are we going to still be like this? Are we going to still, like, we're going to be back to normal at some point? And I said, well, it's perspective, right? Like, if we can't grow enough now, what's it going to be like in 5 years? So having to be able to think ahead, which is really hard, even for myself sometimes, but put that in perspective of like, if we can grow with people coming back, and maybe it's 1 year they come back, maybe it is 10 years, but we can't do it now. So we just grow into when we can do it. And so perspective, big thing.
Dude,
Well,
by the way,
and COVID, like that's your baseline.
Right.
Like you're only going up from there.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah. So that is kind of that's a silver lining to a weird time. And that was kind of us too. Like we're making it during COVID.
Right.
When it's done, like it's on us if we fuck that up.
Right.
It's a feel thing. Well, now you've timed the market, like Frank said, because you don't know that you have an inkling, you have an idea, but you don't know what the results are, but you have to follow it right then, because you either have to be first or best, right? So you've already done this like 3 times though, or 4. You've done leaving the South area, Orange County for Paso. You've done the seafood industry may not be living succeeding the way it used to. The wine industry may not be where it's at. COVID, and you've timed that out kind of here with the mushrooms. Is it just a feel thing or what? Is it just?
It's weird. Like looking back now that you kind of bring light to some of the similarities of all of those sessions of my life or our life. Yeah, they're very similar in that way. They
Dude,
were
what stocks do you like right now? Because I want to invest in those.
Lockheed Martin.
Right. It's been the timing. Yeah, timing is a lot of things, right? You hit the timing right. But
and if you say at any time, I love pointing this out. If you say at any time, no, we're going to wait for the right time. This isn't right. We're going to wait. all is lost, right? You miss that open door.
Yeah, I agree.
And here you sit again. And so with the mushrooms, you're first. Is there another mushroom producer in this area?
Not
Like
at,
that?
Not at our scale. We've seen probably about 10 or 15 home farmers, like how we started out, come and go. There's a handful in San Luis County that are doing other farmers markets.
Do you guys collab and talk to each other, or?
So we don't. I'll say this though, I do, and I have reached out and I try to, or spend some time, because I'm excited to have anybody in the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it's not received well, whether it's because we're, at a different scale and doing a different thing, and we know how hard it was to get here versus someone who's in a different position. But it just, I'll just kind of leave it at
in
that
the
with other
brewing
mushroom
world, it's
farms.
kind of similar. Like, we all want to collab and get together, but at the same time, sometimes they're like,
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a business.
It is, and like, it's so hard to get from out of the house. That's the biggest jump for any like home mushroom farm, because the amount of investment it takes to get out.
Or like a home brewer going to commercial brew.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
it's like a whole different arena,
Yeah.
and even though it might be, not the best situation, you just stay at home, you're making some money or whatever, but it's not enough, but you don't realize it, but you're going backwards, until you because you have to scale at some point, it doesn't match up, being able to have this unless you just keep it as a hobby. Right. If you're wanting to be an income, you have to scale it,
So what does that take to scale up?
So, one, a space, and then, growing mushrooms is pretty specialized. And mushrooms in general are like really hard on the environment as far as like the facility goes, unless it's set up properly for like easy to clean and maintenance and all that. And that's why, our first facility that we built out on the other side of town, was first concept, went through like 10 different evolutions, but, constantly being wet, humidification, air exchange. There's a lot of these elements that you have to deal with that are pretty harsh environments for facilities wise and equipment wise, that it requires a lot of preventative maintenance and a lot of just awareness and maintenance so that you don't have everything go wrong. And it can run for a long time. So having the big facilities background, construction background, the first facility out of the gate, was pretty decent, but by all means, like after 3 years of being in that first facility, it was ready to be taken down.
Done.
You had to level up.
I was like, oh my gosh, this thing can't make it another 6 months. And so we were fortunate enough to have friends on the other side of town with 1,000 square feet of warehouse space that was vacant. Let us move in, and that was one of the greatest days, is to move everything out of my house.
There you go.
We moved everything out of the house in the end of 2020, early 21, and went right into 350 pounds a week. And that was really hard because it was like, that was the full-time deal. We left the winery and we're like, we're going all in. It was nice.
Burn the boats.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we're going for it.
What did your wife think of that?
We were both terrified.
Yeah.
It was like, and then, we kept comforting each other in ways of like, you can do anything. I can do anything. Like, we put our heads together, like we can do anything. Like, we have come from craziness. We've fought, and we confidence boost each other, and feed off each other. Like,
You got a good
you're
wife.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
You got a good wife.
We're positive.
Don't get between them. They'll kill you.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's we believe a lot about positive energy and manifesting, what you want, and
Throw
we're
it out there.
such
Yep.
believers in manifesting. We tell our kids, like, don't say that, like, say what you want, and when your brain starts to hear it over and over again, naturally it falls in line and starts to go that way. We're just huge believers in that positive energy stuff. So
And where are you at now? So now you're over. Your first spot was not the place in Tin City, right?
No, we were in behind Flamson Middle School.
Yeah.
So
and so you
private residence.
You move out of your house to Flamson.
Yep, we move over there.
And you outgrow that place too?
We grew out that place in the first year. We went from 350 to a little over 600 pounds a week. And then as the chefs started talking, it just started to everything started to come back. And being in the food service industry and knowing how chefs talk and, being, a formerly trained chef myself, but I am a very advanced cook, to say the least. But would talk to these guys and be like, dude, these guys are stoked. People are so proud when they get our product. They're like, this is the most amazing, most beautiful, and really tailoring it to the food industry, the service industry, being cleaned 100%, high quality,
locally
higher
grown,
shelf life, locally grown, no pesticides, no chemicals, and a lot of the things that we did at the old facility was educate. And so chefs had to come and do this tour that we still offer today. It's not the chef tour anymore, but it's open to the public. But the chefs, the restaurateurs, front of house, we would encourage all the staff from that restaurant to come and do the tour. They'd have this 1 hour educational tour, learn about everything. And then when they went back to the restaurant, we would always seal the deal. Like, they'd be like, oh my God, we're putting Mighty Cap on the menu. And I'm like, cool, put our name on there. Like, we are the only mushroom distributor that grows here for the restaurants. Like, be proud, and typically they get printed on a menu is really hard. And that kind of happened organically with the restaurants.
Menus are really hard to make.
They're hard to make.
They're hard to maintain. No, it's fucking a pain in the ass. People don't like changing them.
You're like, oh, can you change this?
This guy's never made a fucking menu in his life. but Martha has.
Yeah.
And she's swapped that sucker every other week.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
And when you have to do it, that's every board outside, everything you have.
It's a lot,
It's fucking hard.
But then you think about how many eyeballs see that menu every day.
It's the only thing that people care about.
Right?
They're
Let
like,
me see a
boom.
menu.
Yep.
Boom. So that's what really helped us. And we would tell chefs, hey, we're menu friendly. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, put us on the menu. And they're like, dude, you better have it every week. And I'm like, I will guarantee you that you have Mighty Cat mushrooms
trust
every week.
Again.
And so they were like, what? And I'm like, we're not food service. We're direct. We specialize in mushrooms. Just let us handle the mushrooms. And so that's how it happened and started getting printed everywhere. And then that's when we started getting customers back. And so it was this whole loop cycle of customers eating out, customers finding us, seeing where we are, learning about us. And front of house will sell the mushrooms at the table. They're like, oh, we've seen Mighty Cap on 4 menus in 4 different restaurants. What does it mean? And they're like, oh, it's a local farm. And they educate at the table.
That's awesome.
And then they're like, well, we don't like mushrooms. And then the ladies or whoever's working, server, is like, no, these aren't normal.
Yeah.
They're not button mushrooms, but you got to try them. And boom, they upsell
They love them.
to the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then they come visit. That's the farm. So it's something that's super organically, it's not aggressive sales, but it's an organic sales, and it sells itself. And so we were really, really fortunate with the community and all the support that we do have, that's the way it just worked naturally. There was no intention on that.
Yeah.
Well, and the health benefits are out of this world that people don't realize that come from a mushroom.
Right. Yeah.
From your lion's manes to everything else, from cleaning livers.
Right.
To just clarity in the
need
brain.
A lot of mushrooms right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it in coffee. I mean, there's just a lot of benefits to mushrooms.
There is. And I think out of 2020, we call it the shroom boom because everyone was at home trying to grow mushrooms during that time period. But a lot of businesses that came out of that 2020 period stuck with it, right? The shroom boom. And so all of the information came with it. Education started to be more focused on the nutritional value of mushrooms. And so that's why we are seeing it a lot more because it's been in Asian culture forever, right?
Yeah.
The USA is I still feel really new to the mushroom industry.
Last time I checked, the Asian culture is living
under a mushroom.
A long life.
Yeah.
A healthy long life.
Right.
Yeah, they're living it. They are.
Yeah.
less processed foods, and
so you crushed it there, dude. And now, how do you get to Tin City?
Tin City was kind of wild, dude. That was an all-in big jump. That was another one. Like, holy cow, we're really.
Well, that's all
We're jumping again. We're jumping again.
That's all you do is big jumps.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So in 2024, November of last year, we had been grown out of that facility, the current one, for quite some time, and it was like looking for warehouse spacing all around. And nothing was really available. It was either really big or taken up by a winery or something like that, paying premium. So, but our feelers have been out, and we get a phone call from Tin City Property Management, and Brooke, who's amazing, she calls and she's like, "Hey, we have this space. I want you to come look at it. It's off market." And I was like, "Oh, okay, So we jump. Brain farting right now because I'm thinking of a couple variations that I don't want to share of it, but I will share this. So
you can share.
Yeah,
don't be shy.
It's okay. We won't hold it against you.
You're in the nest.
Yeah, our 100 listeners.
Yeah, it was a tough transition right there before during 2024, but to kind of jump to the chase there, and so November of 2024. We get a call from Brooke, and she says, "Come look at this place." So I run over there to Tin City, and I look, and it was a sham of. I mean, it was pretty bad inside. Metal building. To paint the picture, like concrete was like so brown, it was almost black. No AC, no hot running water. It was like a case goods storage for olive oil.
And all you have to do is fix up my shit old building, and you can have a business here. Right?
Yeah. It was like, oh.
You're like, I don't have money for that. I barely have money to run my business, right?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be a huge tenant improvement. So she's all, yeah, we have, several people that want this space, but we know who you are and know the community. Like, we'd bring you on. We want you to see if you're interested.
A bunch of people are bidding on this one.
Right? I'm like, really? Well, I mean,
come on.
For Tin City, like, it is hard to get in there.
It is.
It's really hard.
It's quality.
It's a definite tourist
They were
destination.
ahead of their time, and Paso downtown had to catch up to Tin City because Tin City was rolling. Yeah,
Tin City was rolling.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But now, the flip side for Tin City is that they are diversifying it for more all ages.
Yep.
The 21 and over program, we're seeing that model is going away. We need to have all ages. So
families.
Why we jumped in.
Yep.
We're all ages, families. So we signed the lease in November, and then utilizing my subs, my general contracting skills, we were able to build that place out fairly quickly. And then in the beginning of 2025, we moved production from the old facility over. And so we were able to do that so that we didn't lose our current restaurant customers.
And at this point, you have now taken any revenue that you've banked.
Yeah.
And you spent it all again.
And then some.
And taken out a loan, or how'd you get the revenue for that?
So
did you have investors, or?
There was, I want to say throughout this whole journey of the mushroom concept, there's been like 7 times where you're like basically on your knees, like, dude, I need like $200,000. I need $100,000. Like, where do I get it from?
That next push, the influx. Like,
and isn't it crazy that when you start, you think $1,000 is a lot, and then you realize that 10,000 isn't very much.
Nothing.
And it's not that you make the money; it just moves.
Done.
You're to me, to you. So you need another $200,000.
Yeah.
How are you securing that?
So, fortunately, every time we did need something, we fell back on the house. So luckily,
refinance.
Back in the day, we got locked in super low before all the craziness. And because I did fix up the house quite well, and then we, had it reappraised, and then values went way up. So that was the first loan against the house.
We both did that, by the way, and we've used it twice over.
Yeah. So
and paid it back now, but
yeah.
We've done the same thing.
That was the first round. that actually I used that on the first facility coming out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second round in the Tin City was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? That's when we refinanced again. Took out another, and it was really hard to get qualified because we didn't have like 3 years.
Isn't it crazy? It's called the startup loan.
Yeah. And you're like,
Stupid.
dude, I went from.
Fuck every bank out there, by the way. Fuck you.
So
Whoever you are, I'm telling you right
fucking
now, you
hard,
haven't
man,
helped us with
dude.
this shit.
And
Yeah.
like,
Even our own bank. And I say that with conviction.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you go and don't cut that, Jake.
yeah.
You go and they're like, oh, can you show us X amount
Yeah.
of years? It's called a fucking startup loan.
Right.
By the way, when you do it for a while, they're still like, oh, are you going to leverage your house? Are you going to leverage all this shit? And you're like, you guys are supposed to be helping me. You know,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. 22%. You can borrow this.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Exactly. Give us your dog and your firstborn, right? And
yeah.
Wait, so I want to know. So now you're in Tin City,
So now we're in Tin City.
and you started 300 pounds a week, terrifying.
Yeah.
And can you tell me where you're at now a week?
Now we're doing roughly about 1,000 pounds a week of fresh product. We service
A week.
A week.
A week.
Yeah, a couple tons a month.
and you got trucks driving all over, and
So a lot of people think we have 6 trucks. We have one.
that's you driving everywhere, or your
Well,
boy.
We have a driver.
All right, all right.
Matt is amazing. He's an amazing
Matt, you're
driver.
out there fucking
Yeah,
killing it
he's
because I think you have
fucking,
6
crushing
trucks
it.
too.
He's the face. He's the man of our company. He goes out
Nice.
and keeps all of our customers really happy.
Dope.
Takes care of all the restaurants. So, so yeah, he's running full time, and then we have 3 other in production. We just hired a new one. But Brandon, who's my production manager, shout out to him. Nolan, who's amazing as well. He does our lab and production, and
Yeah.
he does the tours as well. So, which is really cool. He's adapted to the tours, and on
So
the week
you're
on the weekends
10 employees?
we're 3. 1, 2, 3. We're 4.
But
So
we
one
count
driver.
you as employees too.
Yeah,
That's how we do it here.
yeah.
Well, we have like 30 now.
Yeah.
We added a kitchen.
We have 30
Don't do
employees.
that. Don't
No.
add a kitchen.
No. Yeah, so it's us 5. My wife, who Summer, and she's put in quite a bit of time more now because
And
we
she's still doing hats.
She's still doing house.
Crushes it.
We have a retail store there now, which is a big dream of mine to be able to say, hey, these mushrooms are coming right out of here and going straight into the store.
Okay, I was gonna ask you. So for like me, because my daughter's so into mushrooms,
Oh yeah,
I could take her over there and
any day, 7
Okay,
days a week.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And there's a full. It almost looks like a fish case, but it's all mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Oh,
Nice.
she would love that.
Chilling.
Which girl is that?
Carmen.
Oh.
She's
Oh, yeah.
all into the health with mushrooms.
yeah.
We got tons of medicinal products there, gift shops. I mean, you name it. We got so much product in that mushroom
Okay.
store. It's pretty rad.
What's the Mighty Cat Mushroom like? Mission, core values. What do you tell your people? How do you coach your team?
So as far as coaching the team, our mission is to obviously be passionate about what we do in farming, the highest quality product that we can on the Central Coast, and being direct with all of our customers as well. So the food chain is very short. No pesticides, no chemicals, like I already mentioned earlier. Just to provide a premium product, for customers to come. Have it readily available. That's why we have the retail store, and keep pushing forward. As far as having access to, really good product. Coming to the farmers markets. I can't tell you how important it is coming to the farmers markets.
You're
Now,
down here in Paso,
In Paso.
every.
Saturday. So we do the Paso Roble Saturday market, and that's from 9 until 1 p.m., which is different from the Tuesday market in Paso. Totally
No,
different.
that's great though because Calcos is open and you can grab a beer and then go
Hit the farmers market.
hit the farmer's market.
Or vice
Yeah.
versa. Either
Yeah.
way.
So that's on.
No, we believe in rising tides, raise ships. So
You actually,
Yeah.
if you go to the farmer's market and show us that you bought Mighty Caps, we'll take $1 off your beer.
Oh, heck yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude,
We're done right
Look
there,
at
right?
Frank.
Yeah.
There you go.
I ring
Look
love
at
it. I love
Martha,
mushrooms, so
and
I'm
Martha,
all
can
about
you
this.
create a button and teach our team to do that?
Yeah.
We can. I love
And
it.
if
That was
you-
cart before the horse right there.
I
Martha's
love
gonna
that.
hate me,
Frank
but I
never
think
does
that's
that. I
well
love
done.
it. Martha
the
will love
fly,
it too.
on the
Yeah.
fly.
Oh yeah. Go to what day is it? Say it again.
Saturday, 9 to what was it?
Saturdays. You show up.
Saturday 9 to 1.
Tell us you bought a Mighty Cap mushrooms.
Just show me
Yep,
your bag
let
of
us
Mighty
know.
Cap, $1 off your beer.
Done.
Love it.
Let's go.
And if you bring a beer to the market,
Don't do that.
mushrooms
That's
are
not
free.
legal. That's not legal.
Love it. Love
and
it.
then we do the Morro Bay Farmers Market on Saturday. It's the same day.
Oh, love the same thing.
Frank has
Yeah.
been sandbagging the whole time. He lives in Cayucas. He's an ocean guy the whole time.
I do.
Yeah.
Like you go over there, that's his stomping grounds. He traded all his shit in life to move over and
Everything.
take his girls to Cayucas,
Yeah.
and they're surf rats, all of them, the ladies.
They are.
Yep.
It's a good life, dude. All right, so two things I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Number one, and this is just from my own knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mushrooms FDA like? What is that process?
So on the supplement side for FDA, it's not regulated by the FDA. So most supplements aren't.
Okay,
Is that going to echo here or no?
No, turn it right there. There you
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Oh, we're winning.
Yeah, we're better now. Yeah, so they're not regulated by the FDA. So that's why you have to be kind of careful in supplements in general. What you do
of
take.
course.
There's a pretty big education on this. There's two types of the way mushrooms are made. Mushroom medicinals or that are made. They're made from either the fruit body, which means the mushroom, in the mushroom knowledge or industry, and they're made from myceliated grain or myceliated rice. And myceliated anything is what they grow on.
Okay.
So mycelium or mycelium is the roots essentially of the mushroom. So it's where mushrooms grow off of the mycelium. So these companies, they use myceliated. So like our grow kits, for instance, they come in that box. That's myceliated substrate. So essentially companies are taking that and making supplements out of that.
Ah, got ya.
No mushroom.
Not the mushroom itself.
It's a big shortcut to the industry. It's been going on for quite some time. Whereas, growing the fruit body or the part of the mushroom is like you have to have the grow rooms. You have to grow it out. You have to dehydrate it. You have to process it and do the extraction. But the nutrients, we feel, and there's a lot of other farms that do agree with me, mushroom farms, that's where most of the nutrients are in the mushroom,
In the fruit body.
in the fruit body.
Ah, I'm not a smart man, so like all the supplements that I probably have are from not the fruit body.
Could be from what they're grown on.
Ah, okay.
So
I like where you're going with that.
It'll say that. It'll say either one or the other, or it might say both. You just want it to only say fruit body.
Okay.
So fruit body, whether it's a fruit body extraction or fruit body whatever, that's coming from the mushroom. If it says myceliated grain and fruit body on there, they're trying to trick you.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and there's people that will also say opposed to that. But if I were, 2,000 years ago picking mushrooms in the forest, would I dig up the soil where the mycelium's growing and make
No.
medicinal nutrients from it?
No.
I would look at the mushroom and keep walking and
Yeah.
grab the mushroom.
Right.
I'd eat the
I mean, that's-
banana, not
that's-
the tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
And we wouldn't believe how many people are taking stuff now. And I always ask, what are you taking? They're like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, you should know, and so we're big on educating about that. Just kind of like have awareness of what you are taking because they're not cheap. They're expensive.
So, yeah, oh, yeah. So when we come to Mighty Cap, you guys give us kind of that health history and...
We have stuff, everything in the retail store is fruit body based.
Awesome.
It's all fruit body backed. We have stuff that we don't make. We have it manufactured for us with our product in it. That's all fruit body based. And then we also support other mushroom farms in the U.S. And sell some of their products out of our farm as well.
Love it.
It's all fruit body based. But that store is like really educating. We have stuff in there. We have mushroom leather. It's freaking wicked, dude.
Make a wallet out of that, or
I just need one whip.
Yeah,
Just
one
one
whip.
boot.
One
Yeah,
whip.
yeah. That's some S&M shit right there going on, Frank.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch Frank.
I've been bad,
you,
Mom.
You get along with Frank. What you see, you got to dig a little deeper on this boy. Yeah.
I love it. All right,
Yeah.
and lastly, where should I go forage today? You were pretty secretive about that.
484 Marquita Avenue.
Where Mighty Cap
Castle
Mushrooms.
Robles.
Where Mighty Cap Mushrooms is.
Sweet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a guarantee.
guarantee.
God,
Oh,
no one
yeah.
likes to share their secrets.
Well, thank you.
How about this? I'll give you one spot. Madonna Mountain.
Madonna Mountain.
Yeah. Another one, Bishop.
Okay.
Yeah. Go check out over there. There's some trail picking, we call it over there. I'm sure, especially this time of year.
But
If
if
the
you
college
did
kids-
want to get into that, what would be read some books?
Definitely start with some literature, foraging books. We do have those in the store. We have tons of foraging books. One, some of my favorite books that I live by.
Okay.
We have cultivation books in there as well. But, well, man, there's so much stuff. There's foraging, knives, baskets. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in there to get you started.
Okay.
If you don't have something. I'm sure you have a big old buck knife too that you use on.
He's got plenty of shit. Yeah. All right, last
Machete.
question.
Yeah.
I'm going to use Frank's question. What's next for Mighty Cap Mushrooms?
Let's see. Mighty Cap Mushrooms next phase. You know, we're really gearing up this year in particular. That's coming up here, 26. More so to doing more education and more tours.
Love it. Education.
Tourism. Being in the new facility is really set up now. I mean, we're doing groups of 30, and we did one today of 20, 22 people comfortably. It's all indoor, great amenities all year round. So we can definitely, take quite a few people in there and have some, really nice lectures about to learn the full top to bottom how the mushroom farm works, industry, and you get to hear that startup story that we kind of talked about, a shorter version, obviously.
They miss the salmon. They miss the salmon. Here you
you,
go.
sir. Yeah.
All right. Well,
All
fuck it. Cheers.
I appreciate you
That's
guys.
great.
This has
Appreciate
been
you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We can make this another 6
Mushrooms
hours.
and
Yeah.
beer. Let's go.
All right.